This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Well, the high school fan zone on for you tonight from 6 to 7:30. Coaches from Estacado, Monterey, Friendship Memorial, and Liberty all scheduled to have coaches and appearances tonight on the high school fan zone.
No high school fan zone this week.
Oh, no? Okay. This week?
This week.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my bad.
Well, there's no school today, and so the coaches aren't not necessarily wanting to get out in the snow and drive. Okay. And I think many, if not all, of the high school basketball games from Tuesday will be moved to Wednesday.
Moved to Wednesday? Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. The latest bracketology before Texas Tech's win over Houston had the Red Raiders as a 4 seed playing in San Diego. So you would think that would move up a little bit, and maybe it's too early to look at bracketology, but I just thought I'd give you that little quick update.
Never too early to look at it. I just wouldn't make any plans, or I wouldn't order any hotel rooms or anything, but it's always entertaining to look at. Yeah.
No, but we are close where you can start kind of, I don't want to say making plans yet, but like thinking about making plans. Yeah. With it, we're 5 days away from February 1st. Right.
And on the women's side, you're halfway through the Big 12. So they've played.
And they are not living on a prayer.
No. And so they have 5 at home and 4 on the road.
Thank you, Jamie.
It's nice. Very good. Very nice.
Yeah, I got it. I mean.
Yeah, but he laughed.
Okay. Well,
I'm thanking him for the laugh.
Okay, you're thanking him for the laugh. 5 at home and 4 on the road. They've won 20 games. They're 5-2 in 7-2 in Big 12 play, with the 2 losses to K-State and BYU. How many more wins do you think the Lady Raiders need before you would say that they're a lock? Let's say a lock to make the NCAA tournament.
I guess it depends on who those wins are against. 7-2 in conference play. Man, I would guess if you were probably 3 more. I guess I'm a little confused why you're asking, though, when are we locked? I mean, I think the goal is a lot better than just to scrape your way into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that expectation has changed, but I mean, you haven't made the tournament since 2013.
Yeah, I get it. That's all. It's almost, your question almost suggests that you worry about a collapse here.
No, I'm not worried about a collapse. I'm just you have.
Are you asking me how many to guarantee before the men get into the tournament?
No, because because that's the men making the tournament has become the minimal expectation of that basketball program.
Again, that's fine, but. I mean, I think the Lady Raiders are not thinking about what's going to take to get in. I think they're thinking about how can we get us a good seed.
Absolutely. That's the thought. I just was asking a quick question. I didn't mean it to be disparaging or anything. I mean, I just look at it from the standpoint that you're 7-2. You've got to play Iowa State this week at home and TCU on Sunday at home. Those are 2 tough games, although Iowa State's not been the team that you thought it was going to be. I mean, they've been without a key player, but they still have Audie Crooks, who's filling the middle she can, and very dangerous. They're still a very dangerous team. You've got to go to Houston. You've got to play Kansas twice. You've got to play Baylor at home. You've got to go to Oklahoma State, and then you finish at home with Arizona State. So
I see about a 5-3-ish. The rest of the way?
Well, they have 9 left.
Okay, so
I mean, if you
6-3, 5-4, somewhere there.
Yeah, I think if you split this week, that'd be great. Then win at Houston, take care of Kansas at home, Baylor's going to be tough at home. Oklahoma State's going to be tough away. And then you've proven that you can win these road games. So, I think you can win 5 down the stretch. So that would put you
I think at least 5.
That puts you at 12-6, and then heading into the Big 12 tournament. So I mean, if you could be a 4 seed, that'd be huge. That'd be huge. I don't know if that's enough to host, but
okay.
But I think if you get to that 4 seed level, then the bid that you would put in, you would certainly have a competitive advantage over most 4 seeds, just because you know that you're going to draw, and they know that they're going to draw. So that would be, to me, I think the goal would be, more than anything else, figure out a way to win enough games so that you can play at home. Host those first couple of games.
So it would probably be at least a 6-3 finish over a 5-4 one.
Probably.
Yeah,
probably. You're probably going to have to maybe beat Kansas twice or something like that, especially if you lose to TCU and Oklahoma State. Those are going to be and Baylor. Those are your 3 toughest games left, I think.
Yeah. And not for nothing, you should beat Kansas twice. I mean, there's a reason you're a ranked team right now.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
And
it's just
Kansas is not right now.
No, you're right. I mean, that's the team you play. I think that's the only team you play twice, that you have to play twice left.
Yeah, they're a 3-6 team in Big 12 play at this point. Yeah.
So I haven't even looked ahead to tell you what about them. It's just, I mean, it's just been a while since you've been had to be able to have these conversations.
It has.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we have to assume a meltdown's coming.
No. No.
Yeah.
No, especially after how they played against Utah and the way that they bounced back.
Yeah, I would tell you, if you were just scraping by getting into the NCAA tournament, that coaching staff would feel really bad about the way they finished the season.
Yeah, probably the whole organization, the players and coaches, et cetera. Yeah, everybody would feel bad about it. If you've just, if you won.
You're way more talented than that.
Then kind of where you are. All right, 6:40 this morning here on the Morning Drive. This day in sports history is next. We will get to the NFL games from yesterday, and there's other stuff that I want to get to as well. That's on my list of topics today to throw at you guys. Take your reaction to the weekend. If you have a thought from Saturday's game, if you went and you want to share your experience, you certainly can. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank for the Yates Flooring Center chat line. And, of course, the Visual Edge IT hotline. It is open, too, at 806-771-0973.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is Monday, January the 26th, 2026. With this day in sports history, here is Jeff McGuire.
Starting in 1951, Mel Otts and Jimmy Fox are elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 1960, Pete Rozelle is elected the NFL Commissioner on the 23rd ballot.
Wonder who he was going up against.
1985, Edmonton Oiler Wayne Gretzky scores his 50th goal in the 49th game of the season.
It's a pretty good start to the year.
Yes, it is.
Also on this day in 1985, en route to edging out SMU to win the Southwest Conference, Tony Benford scores with 5 seconds left, as Texas Tech beats the number 3 Mustangs 64-63. A year later in 1986, we were all doing a shuffle.
Yeah, Super Bowl shuffle.
It's a Super Bowl shuffle. Because in the Superdome in Louisiana, the Chicago Bears beat the New England Patriots 46-10. Richard Dent, Chicago defensive end, your MVP. In 2002, Andy Ellis scores 18 points, blocks 4 shots, amasses 7 assists and 7 rebounds. In other words, filling up a stat sheet. As Texas Tech upsets number 6 Oklahoma 92-79. And in 2019, one of the games that we go back and talk about a lot when we talk about this team. Davide Moretti scored a career-high 21 points, and Jarrett Culver added 4 3-pointers to help the number 14 Texas Tech Red Raiders to a 67-64 SEC Big 12 Challenge win over Arkansas. It is National Peanut Brittle Day.
You a fan?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I wouldn't want to eat it every day, but no, when I do get it, I think it's really good.
The occasional, yeah.
I don't know that I wouldn't want to eat it every day, though. Like, I'm a fan.
I don't know if my teeth could handle it.
Right.
Well, they all got to go sometime.
I'd like to keep as many as possible.
Ellen DeGeneres is 68. Wayne Gretzky, by the way, 65 today. If I said slam dunk champion, who's the first person you think of?
Mac McClung?
That's probably a good answer, but not who I'm thinking of.
How about Dominic Wilkins?
No, another good answer.
I would go Michael Jordan.
Vince Carter celebrating a birthday today at 49. Scott Glenn, who's in one of Chuck's favorite movies, is 87. Monte Teo is 35. And Dan Bailey is 38.
Dan Bailey, the kicker?
Dan Bailey, the kicker.
He's only 38.
Only 38.
Wow.
Scott Glenn, by the way, in The Right Stuff.
Okay.
Played Alan Shepard.
Okay.
I think he played Alan Shepard. I'm almost positive he played Alan Shepard. If I'm wrong, someone will tell me. And on this day, in 1838, little surprising to me, but the very first prohibition law in the history of the United States is passed today in Tennessee, making it a misdemeanor to sell alcoholic beverages in taverns and stores. The bill stated that all persons convicted of retailing spirituous liquors will be fined at the discretion of the court, and those fines will be used to support public schools.
Oh, we got to help the children.
Sure. And that is this day in sports history.
This day in sports history. All right. Going back to the Pete Rozelle election to be the commissioner of the NFL, the previous commissioner, Burt Bell, had died in office. Rozelle was just 33 years old when he was elected to be the commissioner of the NFL. The NFL was quite different than obviously what it is today.
That's pretty young.
He was a compromised candidate. The other two candidates, and I've never heard of these guys, Marshall Leahy and Austin Gunsel. Rozelle, upon being elected, immediately moved the league offices to New York and oversaw expansion of the league to include the Dallas Cowboys in 1960 and Minnesota Vikings in 1961.
Feels like a couple of good moves.
Yeah, a couple of great moves. And then he was in that position for 29 years as the commissioner of the NFL and helped create the merger between the AFL and the NFL and the Super Bowl and, the big television money that started coming in and all of those things. Okay. 6:51 this morning here on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. What did you make of the NFL yesterday?
Two really entertaining games.
Mm-hmm. With Denver winning, the New England winning over Denver in Denver. Boy, just wild how much the weather changed in that game from the first half to the second half, where the wind and the snow and the field conditions changed, and the Patriots ended up being the better team. You had missed field goals that were big in that game, and just the Denver quarterback was not bad, but Drake May was better.
Yeah, a little bit better.
Just a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then in the late game,
expected that to be a low-scoring game just because I didn't think Denver would be quite as explosive with their offense. I felt like the Patriots would try to play a game that it was, hey, let's not give this away with turnovers. We're the better defense. We're the better all-around team. And so I thought they would be a little bit conservative. Didn't factor in that the weather would come into play as well, but that definitely kept it feel like it factored in also.
Man, and then Sam Darnold, he and Matthew Stafford had quite the quarterback duel, and Darnold was just a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit better, and for the Rams, I mean, they made valiant efforts, but just could never get ahead of the Seahawks there in the second half. And Seattle, I think Seattle's going to be a really tough team to beat in the Super Bowl. I think they're the better team. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. And Super Bowl will be a week from Sunday, and that will be the end of the 2025-26 NFL football season. But Sam Darnold, who went to the Jets, to the Vikings, and then to the Seattle Seahawks, threw 3 touchdowns yesterday as they beat the Rams 31-27 in a really, really good NFC Championship game.
Oh, you were so close. I mean, everything you said there was right, but he went from the Jets to and now the Seahawks, and now he's going to the Super Bowl. It could have just been the continuation. He was this close. I was going to be very proud of him at that point.
You know, I always set these expectations, and I always come up short.
I mean, you were on the path.
I always disappoint people.
Well, not always. You didn't disappoint Fink at all this weekend.
I don't know. Somebody wants to know how the game day crowd was. It looked like it was awesome. It looked like they had, a great crowd, and the crowd was responsive. And the only disappointing thing was the kid missed the half-court shot.
Oh, man.
I know. There's a lot on the line there for him, but oh well. 6:54 this morning here on the Morning Drive, hour 1 in the books. We'll continue the conversation, continue to take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. The Visual Edge IT hotline, it too, is open at 806-771-0973.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's great to have you with us here this morning on the Morning Drive. So before we get to Coach McCasland, just a moment of observation for what I saw Saturday in Salt Lake City. The Huntsman Center is where Utah plays, and that was the site of the 1979 Final Four between Michigan State and Indiana State, the Bird Magic Johnson final. And, again, I go into arena and kind of look at it and went, okay, it's old. There's no suites that I observed. And the thing that struck me more than anything else is if you're sitting in the lower portion of it, there's no bathrooms at the bottom. You got to walk to the top, even if you're sitting on the floor. So, I mean, it's a hike. So it's not necessarily the most convenient. It was kind of cool to see. It was just a general pedestrian arena. Not a whole lot of parking out front for the general townie. It didn't seem to me. And again, I look at the facility that we have here in Lubbock, and I tell you, I've been to all 16 venues for the Big 12, and United Supermarkets Arena to me is the best in terms of the fans and just what I see for the participants and the ease of access and getting in, getting out, all those kinds of things. And so I kind of look at this and go, another reason why we should kind of be thankful that we're here. And drove by, did not go in the football stadium, Rice Eccles. But I mean, it has a beautiful view because you got the mountain right behind it. But no club area or suites on the east side. And again, parking very, very limited around the stadium. And I'm sure they think it's cool, but it doesn't look like it has a whole lot of updates to it here.
So recently. You're saying that our stuff is better than their stuff?
Absolutely.
Cool. That's why we like it.
Yeah, I would say that without question. Our stuff. Again, I didn't go in the stadium, the football stadium.
Well, they don't have a double T scoreboard. They can't be as cool as we are.
No, but I'll tell you what they do have, and I took a picture of it for you, Jamie. So, and I don't know how high on the mountain it is. and if they have a trail that goes to it, but they do have a U on the side of the mountain. So
sweet.
So when you go there to Salt Lake, you could hike the U like you hike the Y at BYU.
Seems a little copycatish, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know whose was first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know who's.
Hiking the U is not famous.
Hiking the Y is.
Hiking the Y is.
It did look a little lower on the mountain, okay, than the Y. And then the closer that you get to the Y, the more impressive I think that I feel for you just in terms of hiking it, because of the steepness of getting to it. And you talked about that on Friday a little bit about the switchbacks and things like that. But yeah, so when we got to the arena Saturday, I was like, okay, so hey, is there a bathroom down here? I'm like, yeah, there is for the referees and for the coaches and for the student athletes. You have to walk up those steps. Oh, okay. You walk up you walk up a bunch of steps and you get to the top, you're like, oh, okay, man, maybe I need to go.
So you walked to the B.
I did. So I'm like, maybe I need to go to the gym a little bit more than 2 times a week, get a little more
Just work on cardio.
Yeah. A little more
Don't skip
cardio.
leg day.
Yeah. All right, Coach Grant McCasland, after the ball game, in terms of what Texas Tech did on Saturday versus Houston, winning 90-86, was asked about the mindset of what went on with the rebounding in the ball game between the Red Raiders and the Cougars.
Well, everybody knows when you play Houston, it's the best offensive rebounding team probably in the country. And how you match that, and it's just on repeat. I mean, crap, it's just playing on repeat in the Womble, and on every screen that we got is just them kicking our tail, rebounding, and beating us to loose balls. And that's the game against them, because they obviously made a ton of shots early in the game. But you convince your guys, just keep playing the right way, and if they do miss, then it's about, can we get the ball? And same way with us, you got to create extra possessions against them. You can't turn it over, and you got to play the game they play and try to beat them at the game they play, which is don't turn the ball over, and how do you create extra possessions? And that 100% is the stat of the night. It's not even close. 21 offensive rebounds to their 11 and 44 rebounds to their 28. That's the game.
And a lot of times those rebounding things are effort related too.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a lot of times, no doubt about it. Also, guys that are disciplined and making sure that they're boxing out, and other guys that are not disciplined, and you can take advantage of those teams when that is the case. I would have loved to have gone to the Womble and seen these videos that Coach McCasland just referenced there of it, every screen there running offensive rebounds or them out hustling the Red Raiders. I think that is a terrific use of motivational tactic there by Coach McCasland. I think that's awesome. And that had to get annoying to watch.
Especially on those big boards that they have inside the Womble, where they could just...
Okay, Coach, we get it. I get it. Missed another box out. I get it, Coach. Yeah.
And now we move on to the second half.
Yeah, I get it, Coach.
What would the equivalent be for Coach Tadlock to show something along those lines, Jamie?
I don't know, missing a ground ball, or not running out a play, or throwing to the wrong cutoff man, or to the wrong base, or missing your cutoff man, something like that.
Yeah.
There are plenty of them.
Yeah, I'm sure he can come up with something along those lines. Here is Coach McCasland. He talked about Josiah Mosley coming in and responding to a tough situation in his first game with Texas Tech.
I want to be clear about something. Josiah Mosley, in his entire time as a Red Raider, has been involved in 2 practices. 2 days ago and yesterday were the only times he's ever practiced for us. Now, he's been rehabbing, and it's obvious he's been shooting, so he's been trying to stay in shape as best he can with the limitations that we have. But for him to come in there and to contribute like that, and to your point, against Houston, in an atmosphere and just the craziness that this game is remarkably impressive. And he's coachable. and he's talented, and he has a good feel for the game, and he's physical, and he's got the athleticism and nose for the ball, and he obviously has the skill, but he's nowhere near ready, really, to go out there and play significant minutes. But the fact he gave us 10 minutes in a game like this just says a lot about his character and who he is as a person. And, man, his contribution was huge in the first half, and he's just obviously just getting started.
That, to me, was an amazing revelation that he had been involved in 2 practices.
I mean, knowing that he was hurt and not able to play, you assumed that he wasn't able to practice.
Yeah, I just didn't know. But I mean, because sometimes you can do things, in a limited form. But he talked about how he'd been, working on his, been shooting and things like that. But just the fact that he'd only been able to play in a couple of practices also says a lot about his ability to keep himself in some kind of conditioning shape. I mean, he may not be in, quote, excellent basketball shape, but he was good enough, to come in and give you 10 minutes off the bench like that. So, at any rate, a couple of thoughts there from Grant McCasland on his team and their victory over Houston on Saturday, as they will now get ready for UCF next. That's a game that will be on Saturday morning. We'll have coverage at 10 and the tip at 11 from Orlando.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, guys, we are talking Red Raider football. Today we will look at the 2026 Red Raider football transfer portal class. Mm-hmm. And my question to you today, not named Brendan Sorsby, who is the guy that you are the most excited about as far as the addition to the Red Raider football team?
Yeah. I think for me it's Mateen E. Barogba.
Okay.
He is the defensive tackle from Wake Forest. He's described on DoubleTSportsNetwork.com by the article that we have up as a tremendous pass rusher, and that his penetration also allows him to affect the opponent rushing attack. 2 things that are critical to a defensive success. And I think that would be awesome if he can accomplish that for the Red Raiders. So he comes to you from Wake Forest. He's 6'3". He's 296 pounds, and kind of has the resume that leads you to believe that he can do that.
Okay.
When I think of the Red Raider offense last year, I don't just think of like big, huge, explosive, deep threat plays with your wide receivers. You had a few, but I wouldn't say you were hanging your hat on it, if that makes sense. So I am going to go with Jalen Jones from Alabama State. All-American, averaged 26 yards a catch last year. Granted, it was FCS, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, I will take a guy who can average catch of 26 yards as a wide receiver.
All right. I like that answer. I'm closer to Chuck, but I'm not exactly with Chuck. It's Bryce Butler for me. Butler is a defensive lineman from Washington State. The reason I pick him over Mateen is just the fact that he's done it in a Power 4 conference level, where Mateen was at Wake Forest. And so a higher level of Power 4 because Wake Forest is in the Power 4. But I just feel like Butler, having played in the Big Ten, knowing that last year he was listed as thought to be their number 1 run-stopping option as far as defensive tackles go. I love guys that can fill it up. I think they're so important to keep your linebackers clean and let your linebackers make plays. Mm-hmm. And so I just think playing at the higher level puts him a little bit higher than the young man from Wake Forest, he would have been my second choice.
Okay.
Yeah, where you can see kind of how I feel about the importance of being really good on the defensive line. So hopefully those guys are going to, be able to make up for the loss of two really, really talented guys that you're losing to the next level that we all kind of fell in love with last year. So that's a key spot for me. But I think Jeff is absolutely spot on too. I mean, you need to be able to make big plays in the passing game. Maybe not enough of that last year. So hopefully you've got a few wide receivers in this group that can do that.
Yeah, Butler in his time at Washington had 19 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble in 2025. He'll have 1 year to play here at Texas Tech. So, man, you hope that those guys all make significant contributions as well as the others that they signed and that are bringing in. And
I definitely feel like that's the thing with the transfer portal class, right? You're not bringing in guys and going, yeah, we think in a few years he can develop into something good for us. No, we think that in a few months he can help us win right now.
Yeah, you need to develop like today.
You need to be developed already.
Yeah, or you need to come in lake ready, right?
There you go.
All those kinds of things, and you're going to be faced with a similar task to what you did a year ago in terms of getting your team to come in and buy into your culture and have these guys bond together as a team. And I mean, you did it last year, and you'll have some that are hanging over, and the ones that came in as freshmen to help with that. So you hope that everybody gets on board with that.
Man, it'd be, last year we all felt like one of the keys is that you had veteran leaders on both sides of the ball that kind of helped teach that culture to everybody in Baron Morton and Jacob Rodriguez. Who are those guys this year on both sides of the ball? I would say Ben Roberts, would be a guy that I would think would be high on the list on the defensive side of the ball. Who's the guy on offense?
Well, I mean, do you look at a guy like Cameron Dickey or Jacoby Williams?
I just don't know enough about those personalities.
Right. No.
I feel like I know enough about Ben Roberts' personality to feel like he's a big-time leader.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we knew that about Jacob and about Barron.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. And Cam may be a great answer, Chuck. He may be the guy. I have no idea. I just feel like we've not seen him enough in interviews and kind of, I don't picture him as a guy that's up and down the sidelines, boosting his guys up, pumping his guys up, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know who that guy is. Doesn't mean he can't be it. He may, like I said, he may be that guy. I just don't know it.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you're going to have some of that.
Yeah, but just because a guy is successful and really good at his job as a running back or a wide receiver or an offensive lineman doesn't make him a leader.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt. But it does help when you got a little skin on the wall.
Absolutely, no question.
But you do have to be willing to speak up and speak out, and
not just be focused on you.
Yeah, especially when times are going well or when times aren't going so well, and you need somebody to kind of pull everybody together and say, no, this is kind of how we do this here. This is the way this is done, and you need to get in line there, buddy boy.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. I think we've seen a little bit of winter over the last few days.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, got a little bit of winter going on. If you are going into work this morning or just running errands, do be cautious. I mean, the Marcia Sharp one lane was open this morning, and I mean it was mostly clear. The other two lanes were snow covered and snow packed. Although the two pickup trucks that passed me, yes, somebody actually passed me. Two people actually passed me on my way to work this morning. As I was using the IPD system this morning of just driving with the speed of caution and the conditions and things like that. The snow does get kicked up if you get passed, if you're in the right-hand lane and you get passed by somebody in the left-hand lane. So keep that in mind if you're the one passing. But at any rate, it's just one of those days you just need to be cautious and careful and drive and proceed with some kind of sanity, And I realize it's pretty rich for me to be saying that because usually I'm the guy that's, maybe driving a little bit faster than normal. Right? But,
okay.
You got to take it for what you can. Stephen writes in, he was on a Spire. Okay, Spire. I mean, I think I said that wrong. Spire is what? Spire, right? On the top of the building is the Spire? Is that right?
Correct.
S-P-I-R-E? Okay.
Spire.
Yeah. Somebody says good for Dion with regard to the finding of his players. Well, at least they know, right?
It makes sense. I mean, if you're able to pay them to play, then they should be required to be there. And if they're not, and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you should be allowed to fine them.
Yeah.
Seems pretty simple.
Yeah. Let's see here. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app with regard to an 18-game NFL schedule. They have camp practices and multi-team practices. That is basically a scrimmage. Does the NFL even need a preseason? Maybe one game.
That's a good question because not like college football teams play preseason games.
No, haven't ever, right? And they seem to be just fine. Playing big games week one. With regard to Jamie's question of the day at 7:30 about, I guess this was really more about somebody else saying who's going to step up. We were just talking about the culture of the team and who's going to be that guy that stands up and helps with the culture and the leadership more than anything else. This person says, after seeing Sorsby at the basketball game, I'd say he's embracing the tech spirit and likely the role necessary. Okay. Somebody brings up Coy Aiken.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good option. Mm-hmm. I really do.
And somebody also brought up Terrence Carter as well.
Yep, maybe so.
Yeah. Okay, so the two games yesterday, the AFC game won by New England, and the NFC game won by Seattle. In the NFC game, and I don't know, it feels like we're seeing this play more and more. Late in the game, with about 3:16 to go, there's a pass to Cooper Kupp, and he catches it, and his knee goes down, and the ball comes loose, and the officials rule down by contact. Sean McVay, the Rams coach, calls a timeout thinking it's going to get reviewed. It did not get reviewed. And then if he had challenged it after the timeout, if he had lost the challenge, he would have lost another timeout.
Okay.
So I guess my question is, it feels like that since the Bills game, we've seen this happen like now a total of 3 times here in the playoffs, where something happens once the receiver goes down, where it looks like it's either down by contact or the ball's taken away by a defensive back. And on one case, the Bills case, it was an interception. In another case, it wasn't an interception. It was down by contact. And then yesterday, on a big third down play, he was down by contact. I wonder if they had a review.
Just goes to show how incredibly difficult it is to these kind of calls to get them right.
Yeah, and
I'm not really tough.
And I'm not saying that they didn't get it wrong, because the official's right there, and you can see that he did get his knee down, and then the ball does come out, and the old ground can't call us a fumble kind of thing kind of comes into your head. But then there was the question of, was it a first down? Well, it would have been 4th and short, and it would have been very, very short. So you would have to think that Seattle would have picked up the first down on 4th down there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that was a big play, and then the boneheaded play by the defensive back for Seattle that taunted, that ends up leading to a touchdown on the very next play by the Rams. Boy, oh boy, I'm sure they'll have a conversation with him.
You would think so, man.
I mean,
that was not
just
the time, and really not the place for it ever, and as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, man, if they end up losing that game, that guy is, he's never welcome back there again.
No, I mean, and it looked like, I mean, it wasn't just like ticky-tack taunting. I mean, it was like full-on taunting.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, it was like, it was one of those things where they couldn't overlook it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they couldn't go, oh, okay, well, he didn't mean to. But, and then the other thing that just stood out in the Denver game with New England were the missed field goals. In the second half, you could certainly understand that. But man, the Broncos certainly had some opportunities, especially in the first half. There was a bad fumble by Jarrett Stidham. There was a missed field goal at the end of the first half, and then there was another missed field goal in the second half.
Yeah, missed one against Buffalo in the previous round too. So that's something that the Broncos, obviously will feel like heading into the off season that they'll be looking to improve upon. You would think.
And the one that was the 45-yarder, it was tipped or blocked at the line of scrimmage by a guy that was brought up from the practice squad the night before. So that was good roster management there by Mike Vrabel to bring that guy up because it proved to be a critical play because it kept him from tying up the game there late in the game. So at any rate, your Super Bowl set in New England and Seattle. Who are you rooting for? Do you have a team that you're going to root for in this one?
Oh, yeah, Seattle.
Seattle. Okay.
Yeah.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.